Okay, basically we're gonna teach you how to install the handle kit on the board that doesn't have a handle kit yet. So you have your board laid out. Take all three of your pins. Go ahead and put it right on the tail. That's where the weight should be. And with your handle kit, go ahead and initially put it right in the center of the board, just like so. And go ahead and start weighing the board out so you can see where the center balance is at. Like this one would be real close. If you're too far back, the tail's just going to come up. Too far forward. So you can go straight across. This is where it should be. On our 11.6 model, it should be right about 25 inches from the deck. It could vary on what type of decking you put on or what size board you have. But for this board, it's right at 25. That's where it should be right there. For next step, you want to find the center of the deck pad and follow it all the way through where you initially have the handle kit. So place the first one, we're going to cut out the first one there. And what you're going to do is go ahead and initially do a light trace. And do another trace over it. And the third one, you should already start filling the board. You don't want to cut into the board, just basically scratching the board a little bit is okay. Do the same thing to the back. And now you can kind of see that you can go ahead and follow the groove, the inside groove, to get the square out. So I'll have we move on to the back. So you go straight. Now if you have a diamond cut traction, you'll see all these different lines. You might want to leave that in there like that, just to make sure you cut it in straight. And same with this side here. And that should be pretty good. Then what you do is start peeling away. It should come out fairly easily. Kind of clean that area up. Now this is probably the hardest part is you take about 160, 200 grit sandpaper and really get it in there and get all that adhesive out. And basically you're scuffing up the surface a little bit just so the adhesive can have something to grab onto. Really get the corners and the edges. Don't worry about the dust, we're just going to vacuum that up later. That should be pretty good right up there. Now on our handle kit, we're basically about 7 and a little bit over 7 3/4 away from each other. So you want to measure right around 7 3/4, a little bit more than that.
7 3/4 from the outsides?
Yeah, from the outside right there.
Okay, from outside to outside.
Correct. Then you go right there.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not then.
Yeah, front to front, basically.
Okay, so front to front is 7 1/4. There's a look at it, or it looks like about 5 inches, almost on the dime, from center to center.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So right about.
One of the things that you want to make sure that you do is that you're starting out with a really clean blade for a nice clean cut. Three. Nice clean cut. Then grab the sandpaper. start hammering, getting there really good, especially the corners, to get all the glue off from the bottom of the deck pad.
Okay, now for something like this where it already has a deck pad on it and you have to work around the deck pad, I don't know how long the deck pad's been sitting there, so what I like to do is I like to initially clean that area with acetone first. So we'll clean those two cutouts with acetone. And here's a primer by Pacific Rad Sports. What you can do is go ahead and squeeze it, and you can hear a little pop, and then the liquid's gonna leak out from it.
Should I squeeze it over here so it doesn't leak on the deck pad?
There you go. You can see the little liquids coming out from the tip. You can hold it like downward and then let it come out. Yeah. And you go ahead and put as much on as you can. Don't worry about getting it on a deck pad. It's not gonna make the deck pad come loose. And this primer, what it does is really gonna clean out that surface and really make it really sticky for that 3M for the surface mount. Just wait completely until it's dry, like maybe a minute or so. Okay, once it's all dry, then you can go ahead and put 2 of the screws onto the surface mount. That's just give you something to hang on to. And when you install it, you want it to install it like close to the inner edge, inner side, yeah. Okay, then you can take the anything flat and kind of round it. The cutter butt is nice, and really just push it up against the edges so it's really nice and just flattens down. Probably make a couple runs on it. And you take the screws off and start pushing on that little mound. Just use your palm is fine, not too hard. And then you'll repeat the same step for the back mounts. What you're gonna do, you're gonna peel back, exposing the screw, and just kind of feel for the metal to metal, the screw to the insert type. This is probably the hardest part of the installing handle kit. You kind of move it around a little bit until you feel like it's metal metal. You can even hear it. And once you feel that it's metal metal, you can start pushing down to start tightening it up.
Just want it snug, not too tight.
Right.
To start.
Leave it really, really loose at first. And the strap should be installed after like 10 hours. Let the surface mount sit for about 10 hours. Let it really cure to the board. Then install this handle. Okay. Now once the handle kits are installed, it might feel a little tight at first, but once you get it wet, start carrying it around, it will loosen up. It will loosen up significantly. So initially you don't want it too tight. So just keep that in mind. When it does come a little bit loosen up, it will actually flatten itself as you're using it. So it shouldn't be a problem. And that concludes our session for installing the handle kit.